Okay, recording. Hello everyone and welcome to the reboot of my podcast after 7-8 years. After a long time, I'm also back to jobless life, so I thought I'll also join the creator economy. Creator economy అంటారా? ఐ థింక్ సో అనుకుందాం. సో ప్రతి ఒక్కడు ఈ మధ్య క్రియేటరే కాబట్టి నేను కూడా క్రియేటర్ అవుదాం అని చెప్పి అందరికన్నా ముందే మనం పాడ్కాస్టింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ స్టార్ట్ చేసి పయనియర్ గా చాలా చేసాం అప్పట్లో ఎకానమీ. సో ఇప్పుడు ప్రతి ఒక్కడు చేస్తున్నాడు, మనం కూడా చేద్దాం అని చెప్పి ఐ థాట్ ఐ రీస్టార్ట్ దిస్. Today on our first episode of the reboot, we have two eminent personalities, Sharath and Kalikishore, joining us from national international locations to discuss highly important topics. Actually, initially I was planning to do this. I was telling Kalikishore also. Initially, I was planning to do this with Sharath and another our Lucknow batchmate to discuss ఈ ఐపీఎల్ ఈపీఎల్ ఎన్నో రోజులు డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. మనం కూడా పేరుకి ఐఐటి అయ్యాం తప్ప మన డిస్కషన్స్ లో కానీ మన థాట్స్ లో కానీ ఎలీట్ లెవెల్ స్టఫ్ రావట్లేదని చెప్పి ఐ థాట్ ఫర్ ఎ చేంజ్ విల్ డిస్కస్ మేజర్ టాపిక్స్ ఆఫ్ జియో పాలిటిక్స్, ఎకానమీ, గ్లోబల్ బిజినెస్ అండ్ ఆల్. బట్ మా ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్లో యాక్చువల్ కంటెంట్ ఉన్నాడు మావాడు వర్క్లో బిజీ ఉండడం వల్ల వీ కుడ్ నాట్ గెట్ హిస్ అపాయింట్మెంట్ ఫర్ లాస్ట్ వీక్ అండ్ దిస్ వీక్. సో ఏదో తయారు చేయాలని చెప్పి ఐ థాట్ విల్ గో బ్యాక్ టు అవర్ యూజువల్ క్రికెట్, ఫుట్బాల్ వాలీ టైం పాస్ స్టఫ్.
పాడ్కాస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం.
The subject I planned initially was proper grown up mature Gyanwali subjects. So our main subject ఆడి దగ్గర ఉంది. సో ఆడు లేకపోతే అది అవ్వదు ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్. సో ఓకే, ఇది తర్వాత విల్ పార్క్ దిస్ లేటర్ అని చెప్పి ఐ థాట్ ఐల్ పిక్ అప్ మచ్ మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్స్. వైల్ గ్లోబల్ ఎకానమీ, చైనా కంపెనీలు, సో ది ఆర్ ఆల్సో ఆర్ ఓకే ఇంపార్టెంట్, బట్ మచ్ మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్స్ వీ కెన్ డిస్కస్ టుడే. With that, let's enter our first topic of the day, which is Chesam, rumors of trouble in paradise. So just to give some background to our viewers, currently most buzz topic in Tollywood and Hyderabad is that Naga Chaitanya and Samantha are in separated or slightly separated. Generally, I follow most topics in the world. Most now the standards and level I follow also random topics in the world. బట్ సమ్హౌ ఒక టాపిక్ నాకు పెద్దగా దిస్ ఇస్ వన్ టాపిక్ విచ్ ఐ హ్యాడ్ నో ఐడియా అబౌట్ అంటిల్ అవర్ keen observer Sharath only identified this and shared this news with me. So at this point I would like to get Sharath's thoughts. నీకు ఎట్లా తెలిసి ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్ గురించి ఇట్లా విడిపోతున్నారని నీకు ఎట్లా తెలిసింది ఫస్ట్?
So I think randomly I was just scrolling through Instagram and clicked on a profile, and suddenly I saw there's some S instead of Samantha Akkineni. So I thought, okay, something has changed. I went and did a Twitter search generally, like any other topic. Then I like read some rumors saying that they're probably getting divorced, and there was a big article in all those gossip websites like Great Andhra or something saying that so Samantha also when asked about this question, she said she shut up the journalist or something. So that's where the rumor started. And in the article also same thing they wrote, instead of Samantha Akkineni she changed the name to S Bulke. So yeah, that's where exact rumor started.
Yeah, she shut up the journalist. She went to Tirumala Darshan and someone asked her the question when she came out of the temple.
I saw that recently. I saw yesterday only, after you mentioned only I saw it yesterday. So yeah, you mentioned recently like okay interesting అనుకున్నా కానీ I forgot about it. మళ్ళీ నిన్న లవ్ స్టోరీ రిలీజ్ నాగ చైతన్య వాజ్ ఇన్ ద న్యూస్ బోల్కే I asked you what is happening in this బోల్కే. So yeah, I asked my sister who is highly plugged into this subject. So she got me some scoop saying there may be some cheating involved, maybe on both sides, which is leading to these issues. I think everyone got into this subject yesterday, it looks like, because I was scrolling through YouTube and my algorithm was showing me random things like Chesam best moments from AHA ka some show bolke AHA people decided to yesterday only AHA channel people also decided to make a compilation of that episode for some reason. So I think for some reason I was not the one who got into that subject yesterday. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying the main reason was S, Samantha నుంచి S కి
Yeah.
మారడంతో you got main doubts
Yeah,
అంటావు.
that's the only reason I got to know. Yeah.
Times of India, that's the major hint for Times of India also. Not just
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
great switch from good topics, great topics like economics, Praja Chaitanya and all.
Yeah.
Sim-
రోజంతా ఆర్టికల్స్
చేశారు.
చదువుతుంటాం, ఇండియాని ఏం చేయాలి, చైనాని ఏం చేయాలి, కోవిడ్ వ్యాక్సిన్ చేసుకున్నారా లేదా, గ్లోబల్ ఎకానమీ ఎటుపోతుంది వాళ్ళకి. సరే అట్లాగే అనుకున్నా, అట్లాగే చేద్దాం అనుకున్నా ఫర్ చేంజ్. బట్ ఎంతైనా మన నేటివిటీకి ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్ మన నేటివిటీకి దగ్గరలో ఉన్న సబ్జెక్ట్ కాబట్టి ఇన్ఎవిటబుల్ ఐ గాట్ ఇట్ టచ్ విత్ సబ్జెక్ట్ ఓన్లీ. సో
One interesting aspect about this Chai Sam episode is like perspective of girls. So what most of us were discussing, we were saying that Samantha was too much for Samantha మన నాగచైతన్య నాకు చాలా ఎక్కువ ఇప్పటికైనా అవ్వాల్సింది అని చెప్పి. బట్ ఐ వాస్ టాకింగ్ టు కపుల్ ఆఫ్, so they were saying Naga Chaitanya is such a great guy. There are so many fans and girls who are Naga Chaitanya. Samantha, Potti Samantha is very lucky to get Naga Chaitanya type perspectives. I was shocked.
ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్.
Naga Chaitanya fans ఉంటారా type I was saying. People were asking వాడికేం తక్కువ అని. I was like,
So you're saying Naga Chaitanya has an actual fan base among actual Telugu girls. He has one fan base అంటావు.
yeah, that's what I was also surprised to hear.
That is major shock news to me.
I know his brother has fan base, but I don't know Naga Chaitanya having fan base at all.
You will understand.
Arey, net is working very badly. I think we should switch off videos to start.
Yeah, let's switch off videos.
Yeah. So, yeah, yesterday I also got this insight that the thought process also exactly the same. Idiki chaala ekkuva type. But outside, there seems to be this thing that Naga Chaitanya, elite of the elite, what a background this girl is. He's way too big for her type. That is general outside perception in Japan. I got to know yesterday. Okay, interesting. Good to know, man.
Battle between and Akkineni families.
Sorry?
I'm saying saddle between Daggubati and Akkineni families kada.
Yeah, best of two
Yeah.
major dynasties ka product bolke that angle lo he has lot of following kate. So yeah, man, I don't know more details. I also don't know and can't really comment. But yeah, can't expect public. And when you're getting married, public is mad about it and everyone's eager to see your Instagram snaps. So when shit goes south, you have to bear with these manlanti random fellows discussing.
Another interesting aspect
Sorry?
about the news that when Nagarjuna said when the rumors are that Nagarjuna is saying that she is acting too many bold roles and she should stop doing such bold roles, people are not believing it because they say Nagarjuna is not that conservative. Like he's okay, he's sportive with women doing bold roles and all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. S పేరు మార్చుకుంది. S కి was one thing. Another thing was she didn't attend Nagarjuna's birthday, whatever. So that was other thing I saw that time. I forgot about it. Okay, for a change, even I had some other things to do in life, so I was not following this or anything. But yeah, yesterday, this fellow's in the news, no movie release. Then I again got back into the subject. So yeah, let's see how this one plays out. Not much more time.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Let's not try and go deeper into that. Nothing much to go deeper there. Let's quickly move on to slightly less interesting subjects like cricket. Okay,
Yeah.
In cricket, let's just start with IPL nadustundagane. I don't really. I was just talking to Sharath also. I think it's too early to give any great insights about IPL. Kalikishore, have you followed the IPL after restart? I honestly haven't. Anything interesting you found about IPL over the past week?
I have 1 minute stuff to say about IPL. Like these guys have taken a round trip from Assam to Hyderabad to Dubai to back to Assam now. So I'm sure they are on their way back to Assam as far as SRH is concerned.
SRH is concerned. Yeah.
Other than that, it's BAU. Following hashtag Monday. I'm sure they're. It looks like they are not winning this year also. They don't look like also. the way they choke and everything after big wins and all. Looks like usual suspects. CSK, maybe for a change DC. That's all. There is not much. There is not much other than this points table stuff that we see in IPL.
Yeah. In terms of points
From SRH
table,
perspective, I think I'm really looking forward to the auction. That's it.
I'm just all my hopes are already shifted to auction anyway. Unless Srinath B, what magic he'll pull in the upcoming auction is my only thought about IPL currently. Okay, that's a interesting debate in itself. I was hearing this Crickbuzz discussion also. Our Annaya Srinath B was in Delhi Capitals previously. He spent a lot of effort along with Ricky Ponting and JSW. JSW put in a lot of effort and money to revamp that shit-ass franchise to what it is today. They've built that squad over past 3-4 years. No, all that shit, all that is going down the drain entirely, particularly because now that there are a couple of more teams that are going to be added, the amount of retaining you can do will be even lesser. So that squad is going to get destroyed. So what is the point of building that squad with so much effort is one school of thought. On the other hand, from SRH's perspective, thank God this squad is going to get broken up.
Yeah, true.
That is there. Oh yeah,
and it's a really good strategy for TC that the way they have built the team. Like you generally build your team with Indian core batting and foreign fast bowlers like 150 km/h Ravada and Norkia. But our strategy was not great and overall did not do well. Whenever we did well, it was generally because of luck and nothing else.
Us being SRH.
Whenever we did well, it has to do a lot with Rashid Khan and Warner/Williamson. That's pretty much
pure luck. Yeah.
I mean, SRH had overseas batting and Indian bowling largely. I don't know. See, SRH has had this issues with its squad since 2015 or whatever. The day we got Manish Pandey, that was the issue. So, okay, going back even further, the day Rohit Sharma left, till now we've not been able to replace Rohit Sharma in this Hyderabad franchise. So, we got Manish Pandey. That has been a gap since then. But yeah, our foreign batsmen have nailed it, and we had solid Indian bowlers all this while. But yeah, that thing is, our bowling has gone stale, I would say largely. I mean, we were nailing the bowling 20. Every year when I see all the squads season preview, I feel, Amma, this has to be that stinker of a season for SRH. This will probably be last World Cup, I thought. 2018, when without Warner, I thought, no way, this to pakka last only. Still, they almost won that final. So, what do I know? But yeah, I don't have anything new to add about SRH, man. I'll let you guys add anything more. What SRH?
From Indian perspective, at least in the second leg, the best find so far is Venkatesh Iyer. So one interesting thing I read about this Venkatesh Iyer guy is he's saying that generally in elite families, parents ask you to study and settle down and all. He's like, my mother forced me to pick up cricket. That's one thing. And the second thing I read about him, which I was expecting from childhood, is like this guy was a right-hander, and he was a big fan of Sourav Ganguly, and that's why he switched from right hand to left hand. I was thinking from childhood that Ganguly being a right-hander who converted to left hand, I was thinking that he will have a big influence of left-handers coming out, and here is one guy who directly admitted that he switched to left hand just because he likes Ganguly.
Never thought of it.
Nice.
Yeah, he has one job in Deloitte in tax practice. I read somewhere.
Yeah.
He actually has a stable job and he's just doing this on the side. Interesting. Yeah. Itlaga proper last minute entry to IPL would be Varun Chakravarti. I think that's extremely crazy story about Varun Chakravarti, who tried initially in his teens. Didn't work out that time, so he left everything. He did one SRM lo bachelor's in architecture, but thanks to TNPL starting after that, he got through TNPL, and then the entire journey of Varun Chakravarti is crazy. Now he's one of the main bowlers for our T20 World Cup campaign, I think.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good point to just touch upon
Nice
T20
segue to
World Cup.
T20
Yeah,
World Cup.
segue into.
Yeah.
I just realized that in any office calls, also nowadays life is all about office calls. If you use words like segue, nuance, context, yeah,
Yeah.
these words if you use, you'll sound proper intellectual in any conversation. So yeah, let's
True.
segue into T20 World Cup. I don't remember squad and all. It's still a long time away that tournament. But yeah,
Yeah.
what predictions for the T20 World Cup semi-finalists? Who will be the semi-finalists and predictions for finals and winner? Or any reactions on the squad? Broad reactions on squads or the teams in general?
I can go first as far as semi-finalists are concerned.
Yeah.
England,
Hmm.
West Indies, Australia, and India. And a big miss is Dil Pakistan.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
The reason why I'm
Why
excluding
Australia though?
Australia, they have the
They know how
batting
to win
power.
big tournaments, Antava. Don't give me
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Also, these Dubai pitches, some of them are very slow. If pitches are very slow, right? Then stroke making is not easy. Only people with power can hit. Like Stoinis and all will definitely come handy, is what I feel. People with like with a lot of whose bat speed is very high.
పిచ్ దేవుంద్రా కొడితే వెళ్తుంది అన్నట్టు కొట్టే
Yeah.
ఎద్దులు ఉంటారంట ఆస్ట్రేలియా టీంలో. ఓకే, పాకిస్తాన్ టీమ్ డ్యూ టు ల్యాక్ ఆఫ్ ఎలీట్ గేమ్ ఎక్స్పోజర్ అయితే ఓకే, దట్ ఇస్ లెట్స్ విల్ సెగ్వే ఇంటు దట్ ఇన్
That's a
జస్ట్
different
మినిట్. యా, సో ఇన్ జనరల్ ఐ వాస్ సేయింగ్ ఇట్లా
I would say whenever they're under pressure to win, right? They struggle. Like that's the way they struggle against India, right? Every time they come to World Cup saying that we want to win against India, and the history says that they won against India only once in World Cups, maybe twice. This time they have like 3 or 4 opponents. Like they are under pressure to defeat New Zealand, England, India, and whatnot. And I'm sure there are some cracks within the team itself after all everything that happened with these teams projecting to play there.
I'm looking forward to seeing Liam Livingston. Sorry,
excellent.
I don't have much inputs about. Yeah, Australia squad I saw, it looked a bit random. They just put a gathering of players, I thought, based on my understanding of T20 scene nowadays. England is England. In India itself, I'm not that convinced. I'll come. But yeah, Liam Livingston, I really liked, I used to watch bits of BBL once in a while. Appude I used to really like his hitting style. It used to be very clean hitting style. But I think he joined Rajasthan Royals in the squad, or he got one game a year in Rajasthan Royals. He made his England debut, national debut last year sometime, I think. So I didn't hear anyone else talking about him. Sorry, Volka took late, but I think he really exploded onto the scene in the last 6 months or so. I don't remember through which tournament exactly. That home series against Pakistan, the 100 also, I think he was really explosive. I'm really looking forward to seeing him go big in this IPL. And I don't think he went big today. No, did he even play? No, I think they collapsed anyway to 120 all out. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Liam Livingston, how he goes. Yeah, Sharath, your thoughts on the teams?
Yeah, so I think that those top 4 are good picks, especially England and West Indies. I also think that probably England and West Indies will be the top 2 teams, especially with the way they play from ball one. That's one thing we don't do as often. Like we generally start slow and we generally try to start slow and leave a little too much to our finishers like Hardik Pandya, and we don't have a lot of finishers as well. So it's either Pant or Hardik Pandya who will have to accelerate and really finish the game well for us. And if one of them fails, then we might fall short of the required score in T20s.
Yeah, Pratisari will fall on Hardik Pandya only to accelerate and boost the score. ఈ మిగతా వాళ్ళంతా శ్రేయస్ కోహ్లీ ప్రతి ఒక్కడు సెటిల్మెంట్. సో అది బ్యాచ్.
Shreyas don't deserve to be in T20's card. It has to be Sky or someone who again plays from ball one and all. Shreyas Iyer to give up only. It has to be like people like Pant, Shreyas Iyer, Hardik Pandya and all. And like Sharath Sardu's point was on the on the bullseye actually. చెప్పాలంటే starting from Dhoni's era, we are like always like openers settle అవుతారు, first 5 or 6 overs settle చేస్తాం, then we will launch అది ఇది అంటారు.
గేమే మారిపోయింది ఇప్పుడు ఈ రోజుల్లో. ఈ అమ్మ అసలు ప్రతి బాల్ అసలు గట్టి కొట్టాలంటే ఆడతారు ఇంగ్లాండ్, ఆస్ట్రేలియా, ఇంగ్లాండ్, వెస్టిండీస్ వాళ్ళు. మన వాళ్ళని అమ్మ ఇంకా 50 ఓవర్ల. ఇట్స్ బేసిక్లీ నో రియల్ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ఓడిఐ టీమ్ అండ్ వరల్డ్ T20 టీమ్. సేమ్ స్వాగ్ బాయ్స్ అందరినీ దే కలెక్ట్ అండ్ ప్లే ఆడుకోండి అన్నట్టు. దే వాంట్ స్వాగ్ బాయ్స్, యూత్ స్వాగ్ బాయ్స్ ఆర్ దేర్ సెగ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ స్కై అండ్ శ్రేయస్ అయ్యర్, KL Rahul, say youth swag. Seniors again will say, how as a senior how can you not play me bolke Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, Kohli ప్రతి ఒక్కడు సెటిల్ అయ్యి స్ట్రోక్ ప్లేయింగ్ చేసేవాడే. ఎటు బోదా స్కోరు ఆఖరికి మళ్ళీ హార్దిక్ పాండ్యా మీదే పడుతుంది. ఎనీవే
one interesting aspect about Hardik Pandya is like he is in the squad but he is not playing for MI based on fitness issues.
Not fit, yeah. So that's a big problem for us as well.
Yeah, he was away from tests and everything just to be able to play T20 somehow. No, now his fitness is not even able to manage that currently, is it? T20 lo also only batting chestadu, bowling kuda cheyadu, balki they're giving him maximum flexibility, no?
Right, but Kohli asked him to bowl and bat before he gets back to test team and all. Even in other formats, he wants him to bowl and bat. His problem is majorly with bowling. His back pain and all is like having an impact on his bowling. So he's like maybe at least in T20 series only 4 hours, right? So we see he fill in those 4 hours just to increase the.
They were waving off even those 4 overs over the past year or so. That's what I'm saying. But now he's not even playing in the team for the batting, is it?
For Mumbai Indians, yeah, he's not playing so far. But I think they've given a statement saying that we're trying to manage his workload overall because T20 World Cup is around the corner. Although he's fit, like they're not probably going to play him every game.
Okay.
Yeah, just to
New Zealand, what about? Sorry, what Afghanistan with 4 elite spinners. Qais Ahmad, man, I followed the 100 due to some amount of joblessness, literally. So yeah, Qais Ahmad bolke he's another good enough mystery spinner for a lot of the white batsmen. So yeah, Rashid, Mujib, Nabi, all 3 SRH plus Qais Ahmad. Lot of chatterati, twitterati were saying just play your 4 top spinners and see how it goes, man. Type they were saying. Yeah, that is one. Any other non mainstream picks to reach semis? Dark horses, as they say.
Maybe South Africa.
Oh yeah, no one talks about them anymore.
Yeah.
Tabrez Shamsi bolke there's some guy, no, he's supposed to be good.
It really depends on. Some games are happening in Oman also. Like half the games are happening in UAE, the same pitches that we're using for IPL. So that is one major benefit for as far as India team is concerned, that they are already having some practice on the same pitches. But another half of games are happening in Oman. So we don't know how that.
God knows how that will go on top of those pitches.
Those pitches, if they're like slow and something, we don't know dimensions part, we don't know anything.
No one mentioned New Zealand, how they don't play T20 that good, is it?
New Zealand, if I remember correct, when India went and played, we won it 5-0, no?
5-0, yeah, I think a couple of years back we smashed them 5-0, yeah.
About New Zealand.
And also one that New Zealand will have like is they don't have like a really good spinner. So if you're playing in these slow and hot conditions in Middle East, generally we need good spinners. Ish Sodhi is there. I'm not sure if they have any other really good spinner.
Adam Milne bolke one Ratcha bowler is there. I discovered him in the 100 only. That 100
he's a fast bowler.
Different, not spinner, but yeah. The topic was they didn't put him in the main squad till now. Optional reserve lo they put. That 100 was highly marketed but low on star power. So itla 1-2 sparks were clearly visible, and this guy was bowling at different level compared to anyone else. 100 balls match lo he's bowling at 5 runs per over. So Godred అనుకున్నా. Then they announced that he was in some reserves. But I see him in MI currently. That was like, okay, he's been there from before, is it, in MI?
Yeah, he was there from
I have
some
not.
time. I remember him playing earlier also. He was there from some time. He played for MI in the past also.
Okay, at least at 100 level, he was clearly very hot. Lockie Ferguson, another extremely fast bowler.
Fast and fast. That's it.
Okay, we can.
Maybe we can spend a couple of minutes on our team. So
Who's our
overall,
team?
I think we've selected a decent team selection, but I'm thinking maybe we are a little light on fast bowlers. So we've only selected 3 fast bowlers for the tour.
Yeah, I saw the squad. I was like, where's the rest of the bowlers? I saw the graphic with the bowlers. ఏంటి భూవి ఉన్నాడు, నట్టు ఉన్నాడు, ఇంకెవరున్నారు టైప్ బ్యాట్స్మెన్.
There's no Nattu. There's no Nattu. Basically, yeah,
what I'm saying is all the generic batsmen settlement batch that you know, everyone was in the team. Okay, and you're like, okay, this is a squad, this is not the first 11, this is the squad, andaru untaru ee squad lo type. I kept reading through the list, then abruptly list ended at some point when bowlers ane section either start in. Okay, Wad, Bhuvanesh, I don't remember, but yeah, then 1 2 2 3 names were there. Are there exactly 3 fast bowlers in the entire squad?
Only 3.
Yes,
plus
we have Bumrah, Shami and Bhuvi.
Yeah, so ఇదేంటి ఇక్కడ అయిపోయింది లిస్ట్. గ్రాఫిక్ ఏమన్నా మిస్ కొట్టారా అనుకున్నాను నేను ఫస్ట్ చూసి.
So I'm thinking at least 2 fast bowlers will play, and we are very very thin on fast bowlers on the bench. I'm not sure if that is going to work well, because that's one. And the other thing is, it sounded like it's the end of Kulcha. Like that's like a really
era. Oh wow, that's a terrific. Sorry. Good. Sorry.
Go on.
Happy about
that was the point, dude. From your discussion somewhere I realized I didn't realize it looking at the squad, because I don't care about Indian white ball cricket that much to track it. I realized some next day want to let us that Kulcha era, which started I don't know when, is now right now it has been replaced by the red ball era, outdated red ball duo of Ashwin and Jadeja. What a turning of the tables, bolke I realized that much later when someone pointed it out. Yeah, go on, Sharath.
As far as Chahal is concerned, I am very happy. Like, he has been delivering for opposition teams from last 12 to 18 months. Every match he is like he takes no wickets and he gives highest number of runs within the team. So Kuldeep, I don't know. Kuldeep, I read it is poor captaincy. People did not manage him well. KKR also did not give him chances and whatnot. So Kuldeep was anyway. They were saying that he's bowling too slow even for a spinner. But yeah
he's bowling
high time we let him play domestic cricket and come back to the phone. He's in our scheme of things over long term, but we have to spend some time with Haryana.
I like how you highly political answer ఎట్లయితే ఇచ్చావు. స్టాండర్డ్ స్క్రిప్ట్ నుంచి చదివిన ఆన్సర్. Work on his skills and work your way back to that.
Every time Justin Langer or some ECB guy will come and say ECB, that England coach Silverwood or someone will come.
Yeah. Dom Sibley will be out 1 week. Next week someone else will be out. So that will be the standard press release answer. Yeah. The thing with Chahal is the only time I see him is in some pressure match with SRH, and they'll have mana talented batting order ki he'll only be one Vishwarupam bowler. 3 for 19 or 4 overs he'll take in that one match. That is so. Whenever I see him, I still consider him elite bowler. You guys only be saying a light bowler. Okay? So when I now even though when I see him against SRH,
for India is that controversial match where he replaced Ravindra Jadeja as super sub or whatever you call it. Ravindra Jadeja got injured and injured to his thumb or something, and he was also hit by a ball on his helmet, and he said, "I am taking a concussion substitute." Justin Langer cried foul after the game.
Yeah, won the last winter, I think. He won India the match, that one, Chahal.
That was after that controversial performance. Around on either side of it, it is every game like if it is one day match, he will bowl 10 overs, 65 no loss, 10 overs, 70 no loss. T20 match, 4 overs, 40 runs, no wickets.
Is it
Standard.
okay? Okay. Even in IPL, it's like that, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All he's
Masha,
playing for
Generally, the performances of both Kulcha have like dipped really bad in the last couple of seasons, especially Kuldeep. He has got a few chances, if I remember correctly, in KKR. But whenever he got chances, like he used to give at least 10 runs per over. So yeah, his bowls like 75 km per hour. That's just too slow, and everyone was able to wait back and hit him through the line. It was very easy. So moving on, I think couple of interesting decisions in the team selection is I think Ashwin, after a long time, beautiful to see him in T20 team. He's the most skillful bowler in the world right now, if you ask me. And it was so sad to not see him in the Test cricket matches, but thankfully he's going to play for us in the T20 World Cup, and it's required also because he's someone who can take the ball away from the left-hander, and most of the teams have left-hand top-heavy. Someone like England, like Ian Morgan, and other top-order batsmen, I think he'll be very, very useful.
Ashwin, I think, has been. Yeah, my only observation is he has been terrific in IPL from the time he left Chennai. They made him captain of they made him captain of Punjab and all. Every match I saw him, he was getting at least 2 wickets for not more than 25 in any match. 2 for 25 would be his average figures. He was next level pumped up. They gave him chance to. Obviously, bowlers don't captain India for whatever reason. So at least he got chance to captain Punjab and was really into it, and they were really hot until the inevitable collapse of that season. So again, he moved to Delhi. Even there, he's been nailing it match after match whenever I see him, 2 for 25. So yeah, he always looked extra cussy, particularly playing against these big teams like RCB, CSK, to really prove a point that he's still very much a good enough bowler for white ball cricket. So yeah, terrific to see him back in the squad. Yeah, looking forward to seeing him how he goes in the World Cup. Yeah, Kalikishore.
Yeah, like Ashwin, what I have noticed, especially from that Australia series where he took Steve Smith's wicket multiple times, is like he has learned to take wickets irrespective of pitch, just using his own brain. Like, to draw analogies, I would say those Bumrah wickets where he picked wicket just by using his brain, using the ball, like slower Yorker for Sean Marsh or something like that, right? They are not really of that level, but he always had I would say skill to like take wickets irrespective of pitch. And I would say it is a big tragedy that he did not play, irrespective of the result that we got in England. I would say it's a big tragedy that he did not play just because I would only say he did not play in England only because our middle order was weak and they wanted to reinforce the batting depth to compensate for Chutia middle order for lack of veterans.
You're
That's
tired
an
of coming
interesting
up
point you touched on, Kali. I think the point on like Steve Smith also, like he was taking the pitch out of the equation and taking the wickets. This is same discussion I had with a couple of my other friends as well. He would have probably picked wickets of Root slightly easier than the rest of the bowling lineup, which has struggled.
Yeah,
but
I saw the hypocrisy of Virat Kohli there. He always says we will never play less than 5 bowlers. We always go for 20 wickets. But he was eventually playing 4.5 bowlers when he's not playing Ashwin. Instead of Ashwin, he went for Jadeja, and Jadeja, I don't know, he delivered maybe in one game in that final innings, maybe in the last test. That's the only test where he was of any effect, where he took like a couple of wickets, where balls spun from outside the. Yeah. Other than that, it was Jadeja was in only for batting.
Yeah, but Kohli and Kohli fans would say we got the result, so sit quietly. What? I mean, that would be one argument.
Dhoni fans will say process is more important than results, whatever. Anyway.
So, yeah. Moving on from that. We were talking about lack of international experience for Pakistan or hitting experience. So we can go back and segue from there again into this cancellation of tours issue of New Zealand and England. Yeah, I mean, I just want to. Yeah, everyone knows by now they got cancelled and everything. But we can look at it from these touring teams' point of view, Pakistan's point of view. Again, in Pakistan, you have players' point of view, admin's point of view, and the fans' point of view. So I let Sharath start and we can discuss. So
Yeah, I
in terms of
think
background,
it is.
why were these tours there in the first place? My first question. New Zealand, how
Uh,
long were they supposed to play? New Zealand, what was this for? IPL
New
మధ్యలో
Zealand
టూర్
was
ఏంద్రా?
very. Yeah, it was a very, very, very small tournament. But I think let's go back a little bit before we come to the tours, right? There are some rumors. Let's discuss the rumors first and then we'll come to the content. So there was something called Kashmiri Premier League or something that
Okay.
Pakistan Cricket Board has organized. And some of the cricketers were playing in that. It was supposed to start, and just before it was going to start, I think BCCI and also Indian government really opposed it. I think they said that whoever is going to play there, you will not be ever be able to play in India and come to India and things like that. And some of the international players pulled out. So the rumors are that because of that, maybe now BCCI has probably put more pressure on these smaller boards like New Zealand to stop playing cricket in Pakistan.
Seems far-fetched.
So
I mean, in terms of actual political ground realities also, there is some uptick of activity from this Pakistan branch of Taliban is what I read. They're back in the news to some extent. So it's not like entirely peaceful ashram or anything. So there is obviously that Taliban stuff of Afghanistan ka little spillover is there. And anyway, okay, this brings into discussion the inequality of international cricket as a whole, where you have three big teams and everyone else. Those three don't give a shit about anyone else, but that will come to that.
As far as finance is concerned, right? As far as market is concerned, right? Pakistan is a decent market compared to say Australia, New Zealand, or West Indies or something. Pakistan is a decent market in terms of whenever Pakistan plays in Australia, right? So Australia will make significant money from foreign broadcasting or broadcasting rights for in Pakistan and all. But the challenge for Pakistan is Pakistan's poor relationship with India. Like to Sharath's point, right? That India and Pakistan are not in good terms, and this KPL and all these things are definitely playing a part in Pakistan's finances to begin with.
Yeah. As I was mentioning the other day, let's just try and focus on this business element or revenue element a little bit more. My understanding is, in terms of population also, I think among the cricket playing nations after India, I think Pakistan is the next highest population. I think some 20 crore or something.
They're close to 200 million population. They're among the top 10 populated countries in the world.
Of the world
so
only.
Definitely,
England, Australia, other country, Australia, England also, I don't think that it's a great. Andhra Pradesh and England. So, population wise also, Pakistan is pretty big and it has sufficient market all over the world with Pakistan fans just like India. So, the thing I read one refreshed article which came on my feed after a long time, which I read it previously also. My understanding is Pakistan's domestic sports broadcasting system is still stuck in the 1980s, like how it was for India until the early 90s. Every match of India has to be shown on Doordarshan only, and Doordarshan will give you whatever 100 rupees it feels like, Gaga. So Pakistan's system is still like that. They have the Sarkari public sector channel. Every Pakistan match needs to be shown on that channel only. So only, or at least pakka on that. No other major private players of ESPN Star kind of people are there in Pakistan really, which is why those TV rates don't go for much money. They need to go for much more money than they're worth. Pakistan cricket can be worth much more money than what it is currently making. So that
right point actually. As far as Pakistan is concerned, and the amount of population that they have, right? So, and the amount of craze that they have for cricket alone compared to
craze is equal. India Pakistan craze is same basically. They also don't give a fuck about any other sport than cricket.
Cricket is a stepchild, and you have football and others coming ahead of cricket type. And Pakistan don't have to depend so much on international cricket for making money. They can simply have Rawalpindi versus Lahore and put some IPL teams or PSL teams for that matter, and they themselves will have enough demand. They don't even need foreign audience. If they can groom their domestic leagues and domestic games very well, they can make significant money. But as you said, the biggest challenge is how do they how do they market it better and make it privatized and don't get this sarkari things in the middle of all these things.
Yeah, Ramesh Raja put some big dialogue saying we should become the ఇంకా ఛత్రపతి సినిమాలో ఇంకా చాలు టైప్ ఇంకా చాలు వీ షుడ్ బికమ్ ద బెస్ట్ టీమ్ సో అందరూ క్యూ కడతారు మనం ఆడడానికి పోలికే సో దెన్ ఓన్లీ మై థాట్ వాజ్ అంటే న్యూజిలాండ్ ఇస్ లిటరలీ ద బెస్ట్ టీమ్ ఇన్ ద వరల్డ్ ఇన్ టెస్ట్ క్రికెట్ కరెంట్లీ నో వన్స్ క్యూయింగ్ అప్ టు ప్లే దెమ్ సో వెన్ దే వాంట్ గోల్స్ ఇంగ్లాండ్ లైక్ మీకు 2 టెస్ట్ చాలరా టైప్ సో యా యువర్ మార్కెట్ యూ షుడ్ బి బ్రింగింగ్ ఇన్ మేజర్ మనీ టు ది అదర్ కంట్రీ విచ్ ఇస్ only then based on your market strength people will queue up to play you, which is why lots of countries depend on India touring them to survive literally.
Football boards are actually managed by proper MBA CEOs and all these ECB. First world boards are actually managed by this proper MBA type CEOs who only look at finance aspect more than anything else. They don't even have like this political involvement like we have in BCCI. Some random Jay Shah ilantalu kuda untaru asalu in this English board or Australia board. So they always look at finance when they plan the fixtures and everything.
Yeah, man, there's so many elements.
One other point there is probably like when you go compare New Zealand and England, the time zones are very very far apart. And considering New Zealand also has like little population, the overall commercial value from England versus New Zealand Test cricket is quite limited.
Yeah, dude, New Zealand, West Indies and all, literally they lose some $5 million or some $1 million for every test match they host. Like if they decide to host a test match, they have to accept that okay, match lo will net loss of $5 million or some ento kind of massive amount. They have to absorb that by playing more white ball cricket. That is the situation of international cricket. My God, the scene is different only. Like India, England, Australia currently are playing each other. They're largely interested in playing each other only. Yeah,
Sorry? He said that he to just leaks and we should not see all these bilateral T20 series so much except for this World Cup, right? Similar to what we see in football. Maybe that way you can actually give more space and maybe it is also about the energy of the audience, right? If audience are watching too much cricket already, then they may have to prioritize between T20 and a test match. If there are not enough T20s that India plays, then maybe they will start watching more and more, at least a little more test cricket than what they do today.
Yeah, I mean, that is one element. But in terms of, okay, Ravi Shastri's point was very valid point, which someone mentioned previously also. That is one way of reducing, say, calendar congestion. But yeah, the other element is India, England, Australia are playing each other. The cricket quality is excellent. Say India, England, Australia, Ashes only a little bit relatively dummy. But currently, given India's peak levels, India at home, there's not much of a contest still. No one is able to compete. Away are producing some great series over the past year. So, but yeah, besides that, there's nothing happening in the other countries, man. South Africa, though, Temba Bavuma is the T20 captain also. Oh God, I don't want to say anything. So, yeah. That's true. What to do with international cricket in general is my question to you, to the panel. How to make this worthwhile?
It's concerned, right? I want to dissect the question. Is it about protecting test cricket or is it about expanding international cricket in general to more countries?
Okay, let's talk about protecting test cricket. India, England are playing excellent solo test matches in England. Danni batti Nasir Hussain says about test cricket is dying antaru gaani you see the stadium here, it's not dying, it's great antaru. But as we were just talking, other countries can't afford to play test cricket outside these three. So
it is all when they say test cricket is doing well and all, he will look at the ground and everything and say about full audience in the England lo that's why test cricket is surviving and JP. But as far as Indian test cricket is concerned, Indian test cricket has always very high broadcasting rights. India is making a lot of money even in test cricket and all. But as far as grounds are concerned, right, starting from ever since I was watching test cricket from 2000 or something, always most grounds are empty except for some India Pakistan match in Chennai or some చెప్పుకోదగ్గ మ్యాచెస్ తప్ప మెజారిటీ ఆఫ్ మ్యాచెస్ ఐ థింక్ గ్రౌండ్స్ ఆర్ అట్లీస్ట్ హాఫ్ ఎంటీ ఇఫ్ నాట్ ఫుల్లీ ఎంటీ యాజ్ ఫార్ as టెస్ట్ ఇస్ కన్సర్న్.
అరే ఆస్ట్రేలియా ఆల్సో ఇండియా మొన్న కిల్లర్ సిరీస్ హ్యాపెండ్ no last year when India went to Australia also those stadiums were empty. Brisbane which are supposed to be major traditional venues, even those are empty. So yeah,
So
only
that's what
England I see
True, that
full.
is.
Yeah, it is a culture
Yeah,
thing
England
also
is a
that.
hockey nation.
Go ahead Kargeshwar.
So that's what I'm saying. Other than England, from a cultural perspective, you don't expect to see too many full stadiums. Definitely not in India. With our heat and everything, no matter how good the match is, people won't go sit for a test match. Who knows? Maybe that day Pujara will just bat throughout the day and you get to see.
My sister spent 10,000 to see that Pujara blockathon on Lords. I was trying to say you witnessed a fantastic a crucial part of all-time top 5 India test win ever. I was trying to say pitch it to her, but yeah, she was like, I watched like 2 runs per over for
That's what I'm
10,000
saying.
rupees.
It is very difficult. It is in English only thing where their summers are very pleasant and they will put some sunscreen and put their hats on and go watch. It is difficult to like spread that aspect of
Replicate that.
replicate even in India, let alone world. So, and someone actually said it as far as test cricket is concerned, because we are not making money out of test cricket. Because see, now let's talk about within test cricket only, how do they make money? Either it is through tickets in the ground or through broadcasting rights. And broadcasting rights also, people need a lot of energy. Manlaga semi jobless aithe tappa nobody will sit and watch test cricket throughout. Majority will just follow cricket.
Yeah, just one data point was, even in India, even for cricket rights in India, there are no people who are buying ads for test cricket. No one really watches test cricket even on TV much, which makes advertisers also care about IPL obviously and white ball cricket, but not much about tests even in India. Go ahead, that is just my somewhere I read.
How do we see it? Like, there are not enough audience, but whoever is watching, they really love it. It's like
Just because 10 people love it doesn't mean it's worth saving that much or dying about it. I don't know, man.
and it will take its natural. Yeah, it is a beautiful game. It is great, everything. But going forward, just like Virat Kohli spent a lot of time in his teenage to learn how to defend the ball and all. Maybe going forward, even when kids come up growing also, they will start thinking more about how do I hit the ball out of the park as many times as I can. They don't even hone their skills. Honestly
From
speaking,
from a career perspective, commercial perspective, now first thing you need to learn is how to hit sixes, how to hit those ramp shots, scoop shots only. What is the point of learning? Look at West Indies. No one even cares now. Everyone grows up wanting to play T20 cricket and become a T20 star, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. Michael Holding, okay, legend, etc. నేను కన్సిడర్ చేయను. T20 అయితే క్రికెటే కాదు, ఐపీఎల్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఏందో ఓవర్ యాక్షన్. సో అది ముసలాదు. సారీ, కంటిన్యూ. దట్ వాస్ మై వన్ పాయింట్ అబౌట్ మైకల్ హోల్డింగ్.
One reason why test cricket is so interesting these days is because of advent of T20, I believe, indirectly. Because there is no one proper batsman who can stand for like 4 or 5 years and have enough defensive skills. So every big team, including India, Australia, and what is it called? India, England, New Zealand, and everything. Nobody has that kind of batting where people will just play for like 2 days or 3 days continuously. Like,
thank God for that.
You remember that?
Yeah, that's an interesting point Kali is just mentioning, right? Like all the batting lineups, if you see, they're very brittle, and most of the series are becoming great. Go on.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. No, that random comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, most of the series are becoming interesting because of the fast bowling resources everyone has. Like we're seeing some really, really, really good fast bowlers, right? Like India has like 4 or 5 good fast bowlers, and our reserves are also doing really well. And if you go to Australia also, we have people like Pat Cummins. Like he's the best bowler if you ask me on any pitch, on par with Bumrah we have. And England also, Anderson, close to 40 years, and he can still bowl 20 overs a day. So overall, like the fast bowling resources across have been really, really good. Kyle Jamieson randomly came and won New Zealand the World Test Championship So yeah, bowling has been making the series interesting overall.
Yeah, bowling and Bumrah lanti talent who came straight from IPL. So yeah, because of IPL only, a lot of people are getting into test team and doing well in this also. And yeah, as Kali also mentioned, lack of defense is helping making it quicker and entertaining. One article I read was play 4 days, man. Like any major golf tournament who play Thursday to Sunday, make it a 4 day. Make it longer days. Play 100. What is the point of changing ends every 6 balls? Change ends every 8 balls or whatever. Make the overs longer, lesser change of ends. Bowl 100 overs a day. Bowl 100 overs a day and play over 4 days, Thursday to Sunday. People at least they'll be able to watch. If you play randomly, Tuesday start, Wednesday start, and make it day night, Thursday to Sunday, and maximum day night, so that how EPL happens on weekend largely, try to make it fit it into people's lives ka schedule and not your random some conventions which MCC wrote in 1863. That was one school of thought on how to fit Test cricket more into the modern schedules and lifestyle.
Yeah, they'll definitely make it good for the viewers. Probably it'll be easier for me to just sit and watch. But I think it'll be a big load on definitely bowlers. Like right now, if you're playing 4 or 5 bowlers and 3 of them, let's say, are quick bowlers, and then generally they'll need to bowl 20 overs a day. If you're saying 100 overs or more than that, then they'll have to bowl much more. So all these beautiful bowlers that we're seeing, they will lose steam if they have to bowl longer. So yeah, they'll have to try to get that balance of what is good for the bowlers and actually players and also viewers, which I'm not the right person to comment. I guess like yeah, overall MCC or whoever is going to make a decision should make that.
That also for the bowlers issue that you're talking about, right? Maybe they should have. I don't know. It will be like too many changes which conservatives won't agree. But I feel that for bowlers also you can have super subs or something like.
Losing your voice, Kali.
So I am saying for bowlers also you can have something like substitutes and all, like so that you have a bunch of 5 or 6 bowlers in the team who you can keep changing whenever you want. Like instead of having 11 member team, have a like 12 or 13 member team with an extra bowler. Like say that we have like 5 or 6 bowlers.
Okay. Interesting. Makes sense. Okay. I think we've that topic has run its course.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to summarize it simply with 1 or 2.
Anything else?
Yeah. So as far as test cricket, first thing we feel that there is not enough audience, and for the audience that we don't have, it is not making financial sense. The only solution that we have is like Sarath Satu mentioned, make it more viable for audience to watch. And even then, I don't think it will expand like the way we expect T20 cricket to expand. Even then, it may be like at best we can make sure that the 9 test playing nations that we have today, those test playing nations survive to play test cricket. So 9 or 10, maybe Afghanistan and Ireland are test playing nations for namesake today.
Yeah, I think this needs much more deep thought and analysis. Yeah, I think test cricket even anyway it loses money. So one suggestion I think from Harsha Bhogle and all was make your profits from T20 and subsidize tests just to keep them alive was one school of thought from him. I don't know how much that will work. Yeah. Any other thoughts on the England Test series itself? The performances in the Test series, or as per nowadays attention span, it feels like ancient history already. But yeah, I think it deserves a couple of.
Followed the series diligently, despite my uncomfortable time zones. But yeah, I have a bunch to say. Like few stuff.
Okay, say three things you loved about it and 3 things you hated about it, and that's all we'll take. Or okay, you can say 3 things you liked. Sharath can say 3 things he hated, and we'll let that be.
As far as three things I loved about it is like one major change as far as our Sena country matches is concerned is our opening contribution. Never in last decade or even I would say last 20 years after Virendra Sehwag scoring some 195 in Melbourne or something, did our openers contribute enough in our Sena matches, in the away Sena match. This was like a welcome change. Like despite knowing that England's strength is their fast bowlers and these are like swing conditions and everything, keeping that context in mind, the contribution of openers in this series is like massive for us. It is a welcome change, and yeah, it is like a test cricket as far as I know. As far as Rohit is concerned, it is something that is that kind of established himself into the test cricket, even in away matches. That's one thing. And second thing is a little happy sad story that we have someone like Bumrah, and Bumrah is like, I don't know, once in a lifetime kind of a bowler that we got, I feel. Maybe I'm overstating it, but I really feel that after seeing enough of Venkatesh Prasad, Javagal Srinath, and even Jahir Khan to an extent. So Bumrah was Nabutana Bhavishyat actually. So to have a bowler like him who is supported very well by Shami and other such bowlers, we should be able to deliver more results and we should be able to milk more and more outcomes in places where we are not winning. Those are two things I liked: Bumrah and opening contribution. Simply put, everything else is like, I would say, a continuity of what was already happening. Bumrah is like we said, in crunch situations, he does not feel pressure. He'll just deliver. Rest is standard only. Like your lower order contributions are happening a lot these days. India has become very high volatile in terms of delivering from lower order and all. Yeah. So those are the three things I liked. What I hated is very simple, man. I hated.
I'll let Sharath. Okay, I'll let Sharath take up the hated things.
All right. Okay, so maybe I think we will overlap a little bit. Otherwise, Kali can add his most hated things as well. Maybe the first thing I'll think is like our middle order has not really contributed, right? Like Pujara, Kohli, and Rahane, all three have mostly failed in all the tests, and still we have not really changed any combination, or there was no signs of actually taking out Rahane, etc. Because at least Pujara, you can say that maybe sometimes he looked good, but he got out for good balls or something. But Rahane, it's always been soft dismissals. So he never really would give you that confidence that he'll come and stay at the crease for an hour or two. So that's one thing I think we need to change in the future series. That's one. Second, I think when we come up with a template of sorts, we are not very flexible in the team combinations. I would have really liked to see someone like Ashwin. So that's something that I hated.
Yeah,
and third is the performance of Pant overall. I did not really like in his batting. So whatever aggressive batting he has tried in Australia, it really worked because the pitches and the ball really doesn't swing there. It's more fast and bounce. So whenever he got an edge, it was more like a top edge and it went to a third man for a four. In England, it's more swing bowling. So he tried the same thing and he edged to slips and keeper a lot of times. So even after that, he did not really change his approach. So that's something maybe he might become like a really good all-round cricketer, but in this series he should have probably changed his approach a little bit because the ball was moving sideways rather than up and down.
Okay. Yeah, in his defense, looked like after that horror dismissal in that last test first innings, he tried to tame his quote unquote natural game little bit and try and play like more grown uply, and he managed to do that very well with that in that critical partnership with Shardul Thakur.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But till then,
yeah,
Okay.
got it.
I think as far as what we hated, I think Sharath and I are on the same line. So like he covered the stuff in the same direction. But I also like the order in which he said. Like Pant is definitely least of my concerns as well, because I would say Pant was doing the same stuff in the past also, and people would say that's what you expect from Pant, double-edged sword and whatnot.
if he was successful even once, because he had a 155 in oval in 2018. So I think I would say he did not grow, but he is not. It's not like he deteriorated either. That's what we expect from Pant, and maybe he was not able to deliver. But man, with Rahane, I have so much to say.
Okay, say, go ahead. Take.
Yeah, I want
quickly.
to, as far as
Yeah, we don't have all day. Just go. You have your Frisbee class also. Just take
yeah.
3
So
points.
as far as Rahane is concerned, like I have been watching him from since he started playing. Like there are two types of cricketers, right? Cricketers who get into the, like they say you need some time to get in. Like when they say you get in when you score like 20 or you play like 20-30 balls or something. Once you get in, they say you have to make it count. This guy does not know how to make it count. So for many cricketers like Pujara and all, they will be having a bunch of hundreds sandwiched between a lot of zeros or fives or tens or 20s. But Rahane will have a bunch of 40s and 30s and 40s and 30s and 40s and 30s. This was his story from the beginning. And like Sarath is bang on when he said he's a man for soft dismissals. He simply does not have appetite to like score big, or like there is nothing like him getting in. He is never out of form. He is never in form. He's like he'll be playing and he will like lose concentration and get out randomly. And I am not talking about this one series either. If you look at his average for last 5 years, he averages 30 in Test cricket. So if you see someone is averaging 30 in last 5 years, notwithstanding the fact that Indian pitches have become more spin friendly and batting is tough, you should have looked other way and tried to get someone in.
Yeah, that's an issue.
For Sky, Shreyas Iyer, and whatnot. Even our Telugu guy Hannu Vihari, for whatever he is worth, he is just warming the benches from like eternity.
Can you say that last part again? What eternity?
He is warming the bench of Indian Test team for a long time. I'm saying.
Right.
And the sad part about this Rahane's bad form and everything is nobody is ready to even recognize it. Thanks to his I don't know what, maybe because he is under Kohli's faction of Indian Test cricket as far as factions are concerned, or maybe because he plays for Mumbai and Sunil Gavaskar every time comes in his defense saying that Rahane is a good guy. That's why everybody blames Rahane. If he is a loud-mouthed, maybe people don't criticize Rahane so far and all. I'm like, this is what I hate about Indian cricket. You know someone is not playing well just for whatever reason you try to support someone who is not playing well. You don't see this
point. Yeah, it reminds me of one other thread that is started currently. Anil Kumble could be back as coach of India post this T20 World Cup because Ravi Shastri is going out. So now people are all Virat fans are jumping on him saying, see that Punjab team choke masters of IPL. Yeedentra India team ki coach bolke people are putting one campaign on Twitter I saw. But if you look at that is so your thoughts on that before along with that, if you look at he has actually been India coach before and Kohli got him thrown out and the results of India team were killer then. So it's not like he did anything wrong as India coach then. So how do you look at that, say Sharath?
I think that's correct, right? Like he's done really well.
Let's talk about Punjab. What is the issue with Punjab? Why do they choke so much? I didn't even get to those recent match recently.
Yeah, I think in the recent match, when if I remember correctly, they needed like 8 runs in the last 2 overs, and they had good international batsmen set. Like they had Aiden Makram and Nicholas Puran, who is like one of the top T20 players, right? Although he's not really performed in IPL that much, but both of them not even.
They do this all the time, though. This is not the first time they've choked. They've done this against KKR also previously. So what is?
Yeah, so I think generally that's what it looks like. I'm not sure if it's just down to coaching, but we really don't know, right? Like South Africa also chokes a lot. So it can't be just the coaching. Maybe they have some baggage. They've been in similar situations before and they have not really been able to close the games. So I think that pressure comes back to them, or sometimes it's just pure luck, right? Like Karthik Tyagi trying to defend four runs in the recent match in the last over. It's just pure luck, I think. So I'm not really sure, but your point, I don't think we should compare coach's performance in limited overs T20 cricket or IPL to the international cricket. If you look at like someone like Trevor Bayliss as well, he was a really good coach for England. But once he came to SRH in the last 2-3 years, I think this is the worst coaching that SRH ever had.
Yeah,
So
just to pick up Kalikishore, what do you think about Kalikishore thoughts on Ravi Shastri MBK పెద్ద చరిత్రలో before becoming India coach previously? Anyway, that was one thought of mine. So your thoughts on the whole Anil Kumble exit, Ravi Shastri entry, now again reversal, this whole saga, your thoughts అప్పటి నుంచి ఇప్పటి వరకు,
As far as
from
Anil Kumble
purely from Indian team point of view.
Yeah, purely from Indian team point of view, two things. As far as Ravi Shastri is concerned, I think to be fair to Ravi Shastri, his major contribution is his at least from our results perspective, I think his major contribution is he is the one who said that we need more left-handers in the team, and he is the one who groomed Ravindra Jadeja and Pant, saying that left-handers will make a difference in Australia and all. From a tactical perspective, other than that, from a long-run perspective, Ravi Shastri is not someone who will rely on method or discipline or anything as much as Anil Kumble is concerned. Ravi Shastri is more about let's have positive energy. Let's believe we are the best in the world. He is more of a TED talk more than talking about
Boost up, guys. Come on, guys.
come on
talk.
guys type. Milega types anamata. But Anil Kumble was more process paddhati and all. I don't know. I was always wondering what actually caused that friction between Kohli and Anil Kumble. As far as Anil Kumble is concerned, Anil Kumble was always talking about having more training sessions, people going through proper training. And even in his interviews and all, when Anil Kumble was coach, right, he was always talking about we need to do this, we need to do that. He was always talking about method and process. He felt more like a Justin Langer or despite his failure, I feel like Justin Langer and other are like more professional and all. For some reason, even though I feel Kohli is also someone who believes in like doing more practice and following the doing all the ground.
Losing your voice.
I don't know what exactly caused that rift between Kohli and Kumble, despite them looking like people with similar approach.
Yeah, Kohli kuda kasigaadu. He absolutely wouldn't mind say putting extra effort in becoming elite at your skills, no? So yeah, the news I remember reading also was like Anil Kumble was pushing people really hard in training session. Yeah, I mean he didn't like it was too much training annattu annaru.
Yeah, so I feel that there were differences in team selection only more than anything. After hearing more about Kohli's mindset from recent fiascos, like where he said that he tried really hard to get Shikhar Dhawan in, and Shikhar Dhawan was not selected because selectors did not want to take him and all. Looks like Kohli is adamant about his 11. Like Satu has already highlighted it, even about our England series where we are not.
Lost you again. Sharath highlighted about
this England series as well, right? Where we are very rigid with our 11. Like we are sticking to that 11 irrespective of results. So yeah, I think the differences were more about who will play the final 11, who will play in the final 11 and all.
Okay.
So that's the game between Kumble and all. But especially given that Kohli is moving away from captaincy and Anil Kumble is coming back now, that actually adds fuel to the rumor that there is a faction of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli in the team. Factions. It's like,
this can go on for another hour if we start that fan wars discussion. We'll leave that for next episode.
One interesting thing I just want to add on this coaching thing is basically someone like Tom Moody. He applies for this post every time, and I think he's a really, really good coach as well. But he gets rejected outright every time.
No interview also. Before interview only shortlist avadu.
I remember last time he got yeah, he had just won SRH తో he won IPL title అప్పట్లో బీటింగ్ నంబర్ 1 టీమ్ ఆర్సీబీ 900 రన్స్ కొట్టిన కోహ్లీ టీమ్ ని 2016 లో SRH తో టైటిల్ గెలిపించాడు డమ్మియస్ట్ టీమ్ తో.
Yeah.
Then he I think he left SRH or something, or he was still there, but he still was applying. He applied for India job. He thought there'll be some proper hiring manager interview, Excel exam, SQL test, పద్ధతి ఉంటుంది అనుకున్నాడు. Simply that didn't even conduct any interview and announced Ravi Shastri out of nowhere, who was just doing commentary at that point. He must have done face palm max.
సౌత్ జోన్ అనిల్ కుంబ్లే టైప్ షార్ట్ లిస్ట్ చేశారు వాళ్ళు. ఫ్రమ్ సౌత్ జోన్ అనిల్ కుంబ్లే, ఫ్రమ్ వెస్ట్ జోన్ రవి శాస్త్రి టైప్ లో షార్ట్ లిస్ట్ చేశారు.
Yeah. So, and thoughts on Kumble replacing Kalkishar? Kumble again replacing Ravi Shastri? At this point, I think we have abundant riches. Anyone can, if Ravi Shastri can produce results, I think anyone can produce, is my feeling. Your thoughts?
I think it is a welcome change, and yeah, I feel that Kumble will deliver more results. He is someone who will look at form more than legacy and all, and he will. I think we won, but we always had complaints about Kohli's captaincy, and we always felt that we won despite our captaincy in few occasions. Despite our captaincy and despite our selections and all, we felt that we won some of those games. I feel it is a welcome change as far as I am concerned when Kumble is coming back.
Yeah, just to add on to Kali, right? Like, yeah, I think that's something that will change, right? Like, Kumble is someone probably who will not hesitate to take tough calls, like probably dropping someone like Rahane on form, which was not possible in the recent few series, and also maybe like change the team selection based on on the conditions and things like that, and not be very rigid on templates and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, we can see some bust ups, but yeah, let's see how the test team plays out particularly.
Yeah, we don't know the equation between Rohit and Kumble also. Like, if Kumble is coach for all formats, we have to see how these two guys develop.
True. Yeah, some people are like, Kohli is leaving RCB captaincy. Yeah, what a loss to the game. Balke one bro I follow on Twitter was like, okay, I mean, stepping down from RCB. He's not leaving RCB. Like, if Dhoni was leaving CSK, then that would be a loss to the game of cricket. Kohli leaving RCB captaincy is a loss to the game. I thought, antunda bomma, what is there to lose? And ఏం achieve చేసినట్టు to lose was my first thought anyway.
He made a big statement saying that he will play his last ball of IPL with RCB only and all. I was like, "Bye, first of all, you are from Delhi. What is this overaction relationship with RCB? You are not even director like Dhoni. Dhoni is at least having a stake in CSK. What is your?"
That is no longer a surprise. Like, Kohli saying I'll play for RCB at this point, that's not a surprise that he's able to say that. Yeah, why would you want to? From a brand perspective, also it will be a miss. Like, it'll be like Messi going to PSG, for example. No one wants that really. So it's okay. So yeah, that was another thought of mine. Peddem peaking at Peddem. Yeah, if this much reaction was there for Kohli, for Dhoni leaving CSK, that is entire CSK gone type. RCB ఏముంది ఇంకెవడో చేస్తాడులే random team కా captaincy బల్కే I thought. So yeah, I think on that note we can end this at this point. Thank you so much for joining. I think we went on and on as is always bound to happen. I wanted to keep this to 30 minutes. We'll try that next time. I think we did 1.5 hours almost. So
do editing.
Sorry?
Down all that. You can do some editing, I'm saying.
Ideally should do who has energy to do all that. Let's see. Yeah, ideally need to. Let's see. That's fine.
Yeah. You can cut down my scenes.
So cut down what? Your what?
Cut down my scenes, I am saying.
It's okay, Ranu. I don't want to cut anything. I don't want to cut anything. It's fine. సంవత్సరాల తర్వాత మాట్లాడతాం కదా ఇంటాను ఉండాలి డిస్కషన్.
Yeah, if we do some professional stuff, business related, etc., maybe we can put it down to 30 minutes and do some editing. All this cricket, etc., I think it's okay. Yeah.
We can go on for further 1.5 hours. ఇప్పుడు ఆపడమే వన్ కట్టింగ్ నాకు తెలిసి ఈ సబ్జెక్టులు. సో యా I'm definitely not cutting Chase Sam. If I'm gonna cut anything, also I'm gonna cut some cricket stuff after that only. So yeah. On that note, yeah, thanks guys for joining.
Thank you.
We'll plan some other interesting discussion soon. And we've not even touched football. Generally, I'll touch football inevitably. So yeah, there's a lot we didn't even touch so far. So yeah, thanks for joining. We will pick this up next time. That was a very interesting
Thank you.
discussion on various things, largely cricket. Thank you.
Privilege.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Abba. Okay, Ra. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Bye.